I wanted to give you a couple of tips on your timeline. The first that I've noticed is a common mistake is that people are writing words into the year column. So for example, instead of writing this, they might write -1 million. And you can't do that. So don't use commas, don't use words, just write out the number, positive if it's common era, or a negative if we're talking about BC. Same goes for the end year. Now if you want to type something into the display date, that should be fine. So if you want it written out that way, you can do that here. If you've got two events, or let's say you have one event that occurs at different years in different places in the world, have them as two separate rows instead of trying to squeeze in and say, like, 9000 BC in Middle East, comma, etc. Those words are not going to be rendered properly. So put them as separate ranges of years in two different rows. And then again, you're going to have, you can have more words in display date, have your headlines for all of your events. Under the text category, have your subheadings and greater descriptions, your media links, your background links, or hexadecimal colors. And what I want to go over next is how to then publish this to the web and have it turned into an interactive timeline that you can then turn into Canvas. So if we go to File, and then go to where it says Publish to the Web, you shouldn't have to change any of these settings. Just go ahead and hit the blue Publish button. It's going to ask you if you're sure, so say OK. Now it's giving you a link here, but they no longer want this link in the timeline generator. So it's been published to the web, so you can just close out of that window and go back to another tab where you have the timeline night lab. You're going to go to step 3. Oh, I skipped a step, sorry. Up at the top of your spreadsheet, that's the link that you want to copy. So it should be google.com/spreadsheet/ whatever else is up here. Sorry that it's not on the screen right now, but it's right at the top of your web browser. So then go back to your timeline tab and paste it there. In case you forget, to copy is Control-C and to paste is Control-V. So I pasted that here. You can click where it says Optional Settings, and you can change fonts if you want, or which one is your starting slide, which should be your top row, so you shouldn't really have to change that. Zoom level, things like that. All right, step 4 is where you're going to preview, or I like to open preview in a new tab, new window. So you can see if it's rendered correctly. If you get any kind of error message, it'll usually give you something specific, like it'll say that your years are not in the proper format, which means you probably have, a word in there that shouldn't be there, or commas, or things that need to be taken out. So it'll give you some kind of error message, but you should click through and make sure that it's working the way you want it to work. This is just a example format here. And if you're happy with it, go back to the timeline page, and here where it says share link, this is going to be the link that you're going to turn into Canvas. So highlight this, do Control-C to copy, and then go into your Canvas assignment and do Control-V to submit this link into Canvas. Please do not turn in the shareable link to your spreadsheet. I don't want spreadsheets being turned in. I want the interactive timelines to be turned in.